It's December of 2022, and I'm going through what has arguably been the worst period for myself in my entire life. I've recently fallen off in terms of physique and physical health. I'm dealing with the most stressful school year I've ever had to deal with thus far in life. My parents have decided to place me in therapy at this point, and I just feel like nothing is going well for me. And because I don't have much going on for me anymore, right? I'm coming back from a period where I was grinding the fuck out of everything physical and schoolwork wise. I start to rely on other people more, and I start trying to make everyone around me feel as good as they possibly can. To give you some backstory, this was the fall off after I'd been the most focused, disciplined, and determined that I'd ever been in my life up to that point. And during that time, I was not always the nicest to be around. I carried that very serious, disciplined attitude from the physical fitness wherever I went. And because of this, over time, I started to see people's reactions to me change over time. I was also leaning down a lot and lowering my caloric deficit while I was running 40 to 50 miles a week and doing free calisthenics and ab workouts a week as well. So around this time, I was also very rigid and irritable. And stacking that on top of being that very serious and disciplined person, I was not fun to be around whatsoever. But once that time period was over, I sort of realized that about myself. And I wanted to create as much distance between me and being that way as possible. I had started to care more about other people's opinions of me by not working as hard, eating like shit, and more importantly, not taking care of my physical or mental well-being. I had more sort of energy left over to care about other people. I was just as afraid, anxious, and utterly confused young man who had simply taken in more than he could handle and was now completely letting loose because of it. If I was really depressed, for example, I'd just talk to a friend. I didn't want to put in the hard work to work through it or anything like that because I relied heavily on other people and what they had to say to make me feel better. If I was in that state and I didn't have anyone to talk to, I would pretty much either just mope all day or talk to a camera about my feelings. I felt so insecure in myself that I primarily relied on other people for validation. And if I didn't get that validation, I would just feed more and more into that insecurity. Shitty diet full of junk food binges, out of shape body, greasy, messy hair, face covered in acne, and depressed. I felt like I needed to impress other people. I felt like I needed to prove myself to others in order to feel any degree of value within myself. If, for example, my neighbor wanted me to wake up earlier the next morning than I usually would to pick up Dunkin' Donuts for her, I would do it. If controversy arose during a conversation, I'd ignore it. I was scared. Scared of what people would think of me if I said no, if I fought back. Because all I wanted to do was feel as happy and comfortable around other people as I could to make up for the lack of that I found within myself. This held me back from doing the things that I truly wanted to do because I was scared of what other people would think of me for it. And because of this, I stayed fairly complacent for a long period of time. Sure, I progressed a little bit throughout this time span, but not so much when it came to the important things like mental, physical, or spiritual. I placed so much value on what other people thought of me and doing things for them that eventually when things did get better, I ended up slipping all the way back down again in the end. And then, like I've said before, 2 major life-altering events happened for me within the span of 2 weeks. And that was when I said, fuck it. Who gives a shit about what anyone else has to think of me anymore? I started YouTube, started working on myself again, got a job, started making money on the side. And slowly but surely, I began to build that strong sense of self again that I'd lacked ever since the end of high school, when at that point moving forward, I'd slowly stopped giving a shit about myself. I stopped caring about who was proud of me and who wasn't. I stopped caring as much about my looks because that had been one of my biggest insecurities at the time. And I stopped caring about impressing other people or making other people happy. I started becoming laser focused on what I truly wanted out of this life. And because of this, I've made the biggest mental and physical turnaround of my entire life in 6 months. You need to stop being so fucking afraid. You need to stop relying so heavily on what other people have to say and putting so much value on it. You need to start living the life for you. And I'm not just saying this in a selfish way like, oh, you just need to do things for yourself and not care about anyone else. No. All I'm saying is to live your purpose, work on yourself, work on your dreams, your goals, your ambitions, and don't let what anyone else might have to say or infer on you dictate how you live your life. Because bro, everyone is always gonna have shit to say. It doesn't matter if you're the most people-pleasing or self-focused person, it's all the same. I hope this message helped you today, my friend. Keep putting in that work towards becoming at least 1% better each and every day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.